All right, so another thing that we wanted to do when we have unboxed our aircraft is we want to make sure that our monitor is set to a channel that corresponds to the video transmitting equipment that's showing what's coming out of your GoPro. And it's a really easy thing to do. You can do this just right when you open up your case. You should have enough battery to do so. Just go ahead and power on the aircraft. And what's going to happen is the gimbal is going to begin to articulate and go through a little calibration step on its own. Don't interrupt that, otherwise it'll start making grinding noises and everything else. And then we can go ahead and see if our GoPro's on. If it's not, press and hold the power button for just a couple of seconds there. And it should come on here. Yep, we see the video logo on the LCD. Can set that down. Come over to our monitor with our equipment attached, and always make sure that your antenna is good and tight on that transmitter. It's another thing that we've produced a video to show you a little bit about what can happen if you don't. So what we'll do is turn on our monitor over here, and we still have the protective screen, so ignore the little red line that's going to show up here. And we're just going to make sure that the video feed corresponds to what is going through the transmitter. If it is not, you can cycle up using the plus or minus buttons and find the channel that it needs to be on. And there we are. Actually, it might be. And we are inside right now, so there's a little bit of RF, but this is the corresponding channel to what we need to see. So by default, you should be on channel 8, both on your transmitter and on your monitor. In this case, it was offset by a channel or 2, which is no big deal. That's why we can channel up or down through the buttons there. All right, so one of the really big things about flying these aircraft that you're going to need to know before you take these outside, and you will find some of that documentation in the quick start guide that you're going to get, but also really, please download the full user manual, get familiar with it anytime you fly. And manufacturers are going to tell you different things. I'm going to tell you, calibrate the compass before every single flight. That's rule number 1. 2, don't ever lift off in these aircraft on concrete or asphalt or anything like that. Mainly concrete. Concrete has rebar. Rebar can be magnetic, and you're going to screw up your little electromagnetic compass. That's going to cause things like flyaways and crashes. Just calibrate every time, launch in the grass. Don't just play it on the safe side. Updating the firmware is also going to be a good idea. Check back from time to time on DJI's website, as well as through your Phantom 2 Assistant software and your RC Assistant software for firmware updates. They come, they can give you new features that you never had before on the aircraft, or they can fix bugs that have arisen. It's a good idea once you've flown with enough experience, give it a couple of weeks with your aircraft to enable something known as NASA mode on board your Phantom 2. This is going to enable some advanced flight modes. You get IOC, which is Intelligent Orientation Control, but you also get, just in general, more control over your aircraft. So in the event that you've lost GPS, or maybe you need to fly indoors for some reason, enabling these features can really help. Calibrate your compass every flight. I don't care what everybody else says, calibrate the compass before you fly. You won't have a flyaway if you calibrate your compass and you don't take off from concrete. Fly safely, just check your weather conditions. Don't fly when it's windy outside. You know the drill.